Welcome friends, welcome to Emotional Impulse. After a very long time we met again, so sorry for that. So before starting today's class, I just want to say one thing. Don't try to skip one of something part of this video, because you have to watch this video totally, means continuously, because if you will try to skip this video, okay, until the full watch of this video, then you will be not able to understand something. Depends on the DNA. Okay, DNA means whatever we are discussing from those days till now. Today's class we got one information that DNA only carry the genetical material, but for some of the people it was not easy to believe that DNA only the genetical material, that only carry the hereditary character from one person to another person, from one generation to the another generation. Okay, it was too tough for those people. That's why in the year 1952 two scientists came. So in the year 1952 there was two scientists, A.D. Hershey and M.J. Chase. 1952 A.D. Hershey and M.J. Chase. Okay, these two scientists did one superb experiment that exactly gave the perfect approval to understand that DNA is only the genetic material that can carry the hereditary character from one generation to the another generation. Okay, so what they actually did, they chose first some type of T2 bacteriophage virus. Okay, and as you know what is bacteriophage, bacteriophage means one type of phage virus. They are actually known as the parasitic virus. Why they are parasitic in nature? They need another bacteria. Okay, their virus, they need bacteria for their reproduction, to create the another generation of the another virus. So virus is there, but the virus is not able to synthesize themselves normally. They need another bacteria. Okay, so virus came, they will infect the bacteria, and by this process something will happen in the bacteria, and after that they will form their progeny, they will form their daughter cell. These are the nature. Okay, then I will discuss what is the typical nature of the reproduction process of the bacteriophage. Okay, but first we have to know about the structure of the bacteriophage, what kind of bacteriophage is there. Okay, so they used T2 bacteriophage. What they use? They use T2 bacteriophage virus. Okay, so what is the structure of the bacteriophage? Bacteriophage normally look hexagonal in structure, like that. Look, they contain DNA as their genetical material, and this is the protein coat over the surface of the DNA. Okay, so you can say that this is the protein coat, this is DNA. Okay, and this portion is known as end plate. Okay, and these are tail. So this is the typical structure of the bacteriophage. Look, these are the hexagonal structure of the bacteriophage. This is the protein coat. As we know, this is the capsid layer, protein coat, and only the genetic material, that is DNA. This is the end plate and this is the tail. So now what is the function of all of this? Look very carefully. This is the tail. So what is the function of this tail? When the bacteriophage virus is going to infect the bacteria, they use their tail. Okay, suppose this is bacteria surface. Okay, virus came, is going to sit over the bacteria surface layer, and by this tail they will create some pore, or you can say that they will lysis the, they will break the membrane of the bacteria. Okay, bacterial plasma membrane will break by the tail of the bacteriophage virus. Okay, so this is the nature of this virus. Okay, after that they will enter their DNA into the bacteria. Okay, so now I'm just going to discuss about the life cycle of the bacteriophage, because this is needed, okay, to understand this process, that is Hershey and Chase experiment on the bacteriophage infection to demonstrate the DNA is only the genetical material. So now I am going to discuss about the life cycle of the bacteriophage, means T2 bacteriophage. Look, T2 bacteriophage only attack the E. coli bacteria. Okay, so we are just going to draw the E. coli bacteria and T2 bacteriophage. So this is T2 bacteriophage and this is E. coli bacteria. So now we are going to discuss about the life cycle of the bacteriophage virus. Okay, as they use the T2 bacteriophage, so we are going to discuss about only the T2 bacteriophage virus life cycle. Okay, suppose this is the bacterial surface. Okay, virus came and sat over the bacterial surface first. This process is known as adsorption. Okay, so what is adsorption? Virus came and sat on the surface of the bacteria is known as adsorption. And after that, in the next step, when the virus are creating the channel over the surface of the bacteria, means they are going to break the cell membrane or the plasma membrane of the bacteria, is known as injection or infection process. Okay, so after injecting and after infection, they enter their DNA into the bacteriophage DNA, and after getting the phage virus DNA, bacterial DNA and the phage virus DNA assemble to each other. Okay, and they will start replication. So third step is replication. First one is adsorption, second one is injection or infection, third one is replication, and then number 4 is assemble of protein and the virions, means the after replication the protein will form to form their coat of the virus, and last step the progeny of the virus will create the pore, or you can say that they will break the bacterial layer again to come out. Okay, these are the process. First, bacteria on the surface of the bacteria virus came, this is adsorption, create the pore or break the plasma membrane of the bacteria, this is known as the injection infection, then assemble of the virion, or you can say the replication, then protein formation, and then lysis. Okay, so first one is adsorption. Second one, infection. Number 3, replication. Number 4, assemble of protein. Number 5, lysis to release progeny. Okay, so the first one is adsorption, means suppose this is bacteria surface, virus came and sitting, this is known as adsorption. Infection means they will break the layer and the DNA will insert, the virus DNA will insert into the bacterial cytoplasm, this is infection. And what is replication? When the DNA are going to replicate more than one. Okay, multiplication of the DNA, or you can say that proliferation of the DNA, and assemble of the virions means they will synthesize some kinds of protein layer like that. And last one is lysis. What is lysis? Lysis means they will break the bacterial layer and mature phage virus come out like that. Okay, So now normally this is the normal thing. Okay, first one is absorption, means the sitting of the virus over the surface of the bacteria. Infections, lysis of the bacterial layer and DNA of the virus will enter into the cytoplasm of the bacteria. Replication means the proliferation, or you can say that much more population of the DNA, means the DNA will be replicated. And then assembly of the protein, means for the protein code of the virus have to synthesize some kinds of the protein. This is the assembly of the protein of the virion. And lysis means after forming much more progeny or daughter cells of the virus will come out from the surface of the bacteria by the lysis of process of the bacteria plasma membrane. This is the normal cycle of the bacteriophage virus. Okay, so now I will say what they did actually, what Hershey and Chase did with this bacteriophage with the bacteria, that is known as E. coli. So they chose one bacteria. Here you just look, this is bacteria, this is virus. Hershey and Chase chose T2 phage virus and another bacteria, okay, for their host cell. So one parasitic virus is bacteriophage, T2 bacteriophage, and another host cell is E. coli. And what they did, okay, so start. So Hershey and Chase culture the E. coli bacteria into two different medium. Just try to understand one by one and very preciously and very patiently. Okay, first one, he chose one bacteria, that is E. coli, and he chose one virus, that is T2 bacteriophage. T2 bacteriophage is separate, E. coli is separate, but he allowed, means these two scientists allowed to grow the bacteria into two different medium. Okay, what was those two different medium? First one was S35 radioactive medium and second one was P32 radioactive medium. Okay, so what they did, they used S35 medium, and another one they used P32 medium. What is S35 and what is P32? S35 means sulfur 35 radioactive particles, P32 means phosphorus 32. Okay, S35 means sulfur 35 radioactive particles, P32 means phosphorus 32 radioactive particles. Why they use like that? Because S means sulfur. As we know, the amino acid is the unit of the protein, and into the amino acid sulfur is there. Okay, that's why they used S35. And here P32 means phosphorus 32 in DNA. In DNA phosphorus is there, that's why they used phosphorus 32. So this P32 containing media this is one medium, this is another medium. Okay, now here in this medium is 35 radioactive particles, and in this medium P32 radioactive particles are there. Now after completing this media, they culture E. coli bacteria in both of these two media. Okay, so here E. coli also there, and here E. coli bacteria also there. Okay, so they form one media. In this media they mixed E. coli bacteria, both of these two medium separately. Okay, after that they used the T2 phage virus, okay, in this medium. So here after forming the medium, the E. coli, the normal E. coli bacteria converted into radioactive E. coli bacteria. Okay, and here after forming the S35 radioactive medium, when they mix the E. coli bacteria, the E. coli bacteria also convert into the radioactive E. coli bacteria. Okay, and when they mixed the T2 phage virus here, this T2 phage virus also converted into S35 radioactive, and these S35 radioactive particles will attack only the protein coat, not in DNA. Why? Because sulfur 35, as we know, sulfur is present in protein or amino acid. That's why the sulfur into this media attack only, or it will attach only the surface of the protein, not in DNA. Okay, look very carefully. The E. coli containing media, that media now containing the S35 radioactive particles, these S35 radioactive particles will attach on the surface of the protein. Okay, and here when they add the T2 phage virus, this P32 will act on this DNA, not on the surface of the protein, because look, this DNA contain phosphorus. That's why the radioactive particles will add only the DNA, not the protein. Okay, so now finally they got P32 T2 phage virus, S35 T2 phage virus. Okay, so after forming S35 T2 phage virus, P32 T2 phage virus, they inject these two phage virus groups separately into normal E. coli bacteria, not the radioactive bacteria. So this is the preparation process before starting their experiment. Okay, and what they did after it, just we are going to discuss. So now we have S35 T2 phage virus, means the protein coat contain S35 radioactive particles, and here P32 T2 phage virus. Means their DNA contain P32 radioactive particles, because phosphorus is not present on the protein coat, and then they used the E. coli bacteria. This is E. coli bacteria, this is also E. coli bacteria, but both are normal, means not radioactive. Okay, but T2 phage virus and here also T2 phage virus, both are radioactive. Okay, so as we know the life cycle of the phage virus, if we remember those phage virus cycle, and we can easily say that this is the process of adsorption, because phage virus came and sat over the surface of the bacteria. This is the absorption process, adsorption. And after adsorption, Hershey and Chase kept it near about 20 minutes. Okay, they kept it 20 minutes. Why? For incubation. Incubation means this is one type of period, incubation period. They took some time, 20 minutes, to perform their infection process. Okay, when the total infection completed after 20 minutes, they blend it very briefly. Okay, so after 20 minutes they started blend very briefly. So these two experiment was happening in a, you can say that one Eppin drop. Okay, and practically it is used in the lab, and they used to edit they started centrifugation. Okay, so suppose I am drawing, this is this tube, this is another test tube. Here is 35 bacteria, and here P32 T2 phage virus, P32 T2 phage virus is there. Okay, after adsorption, after centrifugation, look, they got here some liquid part that is known as supernatant, and some semi-solid part that is known as pellet, and here also supernatant and pellet. But when they observe, okay, on these two viruses separately, they observe that in the case of S35, the supernatant contains some of progeny, means when the replication completed, that means some progeny of virus came, means the virus from their another generation. Okay, so here also T2 phage virus, but this T2 phage virus means the supernatant was not radioactively active, means they were not contain the radioactive particles, means in this supernatant, means in the progeny of S35 T2 phage virus did not contain any kinds of radioactivity, but these are the capsid, means the upper layer, the protein coat of the progeny virus. Look, these are the progeny virus capsid, and here radioactivity occurs, means the pellet was showing the radioactivity, means the protein coat was showing the radioactivity, but not the mature progeny virus. But in the case of P32 bacteriophage virus, look, supernatant, this is the liquid part, supernatant contain the radioactivity but not the pellet, means the ghost of the virus, means the capsid of the protein or the progeny viruses was not contain the radioactivity, but here the progeny of the T2 phage virus contain the radioactivity into the supernatant. So here supernatant contain the radioactivity, and here the pellet contain the radioactivity. That means in the supernatant progeny is present, here also in the supernatant progeny is present, but here these are non-radioactivity and these are the radioactively active. So what this experiment is saying, so my dear students, those two separate experiment was, first S35 bacteria attack with their radioactivity on the surface of the E. coli, then they entered their DNA into the cytoplasm of the bacteria, then replication started, and after replication they form some types of progeny, but here in daughter DNA don't contain radioactive particles, means in the daughter progeny they are not able to transfer the radioactive particle. That means the protein contains radioactivity, means S35, but this protein was not able to transfer their radioactivity into their progeny. That's why the progeny was not radioactively active. But look about the P32, what happened here. When they inject the P32 T2 virus on the surface of the E. coli, when the progeny formed, this progeny was all radioactively perfect, but not the capsid. That means all the progeny contain the radioactivity. Why? Because DNA contain the radioactivity, and DNA is the matter, or you can say the DNA is one type of material that was only responsible to carry the genetical materials. Here the genetical materials was P32 and it was present in DNA, and here also it is present in progeny. That's why progeny was radioactively perfect. Why? Because DNA content P32, and here look, progeny was not radioactively perfect because protein content the character that was the S35 character. So if the protein will be the only one to carry the radioactivity or to carry the genetic materials, here we are using the radioactivity, that is another matter. If the protein was able to carry the their actual features, their character, so the progeny should show their nature of the protein, but here progeny did not show their protein nature or radioactive protein nature. That means protein was not responsible to carry the radioactivity, or you can say that to carry the features. But here look, as the phosphorus present on the DNA, that's why they got radioactive progeny of the T2 virus. So T2 virus only shows their features where the radioactive particles present on the DNA, not on the protein. Okay, so by this way they prove that DNA is the only material that can carry the hereditary character from one generation to the another generation. So that was our today's class. Hope guys you enjoy it.